numbers of the people speak the language as a mother tongue. Okay, so think of England, most of the people speak English. Think of the United States of America, think of Canada, they think of New Zealand, and many such countries, they speak English. The more important thing is it is not only they speak English but in those countries, but it is beyond. These countries have become more powerful economically. They somehow made their culture superior in the eyes of or in the perception of the people in other countries. They have upgraded their education to a different level, to a good level, and other countries are following their books and everything. And this is how it has become an international language to other people. And we'll explain these issues in more detailed way. Now I am sharing something else by David Crystal's definition. I'll give you one minute to read or 2 minutes to read. Then you'll share. Okay.
স্যার একটু বড় করে দেন লেখাটা।
Even in the education system, then
exactly. And do you know one thing?
Yes,
Bengali was not a subject to be studied in secondary and higher secondary education before English in India, even in Calcutta and Bangladesh during the British rule. English was a subject. Maybe 20 years later, Bengali was introduced as a subject of study at school and universities. Can you imagine?
Calcutta University
in India and Kolkata, in Kolkata and in Bengali speaking communities, actually Kolkata and Bangladesh, Dhaka.
Oh, I thought
So
Hindi
see,
also. They are
nowadays Hindi is having superiority. They are exercising their power over Bangla in the West Bengal, over
Yes.
Tamil, Telugu language in Tamil Nadu.
I have some relatives in the West Bengal, sir, and their language is Hindi. The education system in school they are learning Hindi language. Yes, in house, at home they are speaking Bengali, but in education system it is bound that they have to learn Hindi.
Okay.
As well as English as well.
Okay, so you can see the invasion, how it happened. And invasion is still going on. Let me tell you one thing. If you want to go for higher study on tour, let's say you want to go for higher study, or think of, let's say Salma wants to go for higher study, or Dilruba Dullah wants to go for higher study in any country. So for you, what is the requirement? You need to sit for IELTS, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
And there is British Council here. They are still making money. Yes, some people make criticism. Maybe that is not absolutely truth, but the truth, whatever they say, I need to present in front of you so that you can evaluate. They define that British Council is another East India company.
100%.
Absolutely right, sir. The way this is going, sir.
Yeah.
Many people
sir,
taking part in the exam.
Yes. If any people, if any, yes, sir. Yes,
every
Sakib.
week. Every week.
Okay, Antar.
Yes, sir.
Do you want to share?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. every time I saw that if anyone comes from England or America and they didn't to they want
Yeah,
to say that if you want to come to our country, then you must talk like us, not broken English. Then yes, then
exactly.
if they come to our country, then why not do the same for them?
There is a reason. Who can answer this? Why is it happening this way? What Antor raised is a very important issue. It's an important issue. Can anybody answer Antor's issue? If you cannot, then I'll do. Somebody should try.
Sir, because
They don't
sir, because they're dominating countries.
dominating, powerful.
Yes.
They have set everything before we emerge as a nation.
Right.
So now to reverse the
sector, sir,
system.
the business, the charity, everything involved this dominant country. So they set the rules that the developing countries must or need,
and we are
IELTS
following them.
so that they can.
We only.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. Come to the next point. That is why English becomes an international language. A brief history of English. So now we will have a brief history of Old English, Middle English, and Modern English. I have already shared something about Old English with you people. Middle English we did not discuss, Modern English we did not discuss, but Middle English and Modern English I will talk later in details. But here in this class we will have a brief on everything to understand today's lecture. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, sir.
Old English. I told you. Still, you can have a look. Old English, like, do you know what I shared with you regarding Old English?
Yes, sir. A story about German tribes.
Exactly. So there is the story. Actually, there is the main thing I shared with you in an interesting way. Old English, the Old English is from 450 to 1100 AD. Okay. So the invading Germanic tribes spoke similar languages, which in Britain developed into what we now call Old English. Okay. Old English is something that Germanic tribes used to speak. Old English did not sound or look like English today. Native English speakers now would have different difficulty understanding Old English. Nevertheless, about half of the most commonly used words in modern English have Old English roots. So I told you, the root of the modern English words, half of them are from Old English. Old English is from Germanic tribes. The words be, strong, and water, for example, derived from Old English. Old English was spoken until around 1100. Okay, 11th century. Middle English. Can somebody volunteer me? Antor?
Middle English in 1066, William the Conqueror, the Duke of Normandy, part of Norman France,
Modern France.
modern France, invaded and conquered England. The new conquerors, called the Normans, brought with them a kind of France, which became French, which became the language of royal court and the ruling and business classes. For a period, there was a kind of linguistic class division where the lower class spoke English and the upper class spoke French. In the 14th century, English became dominant in Britain again, but with many French words added. The language is called Middle English. it is the language of the great poet Chaucer, but it would still be difficult for native English speakers to understand today.
Thank you. So you can see the game of God.
Yes, sir.
From 1000 to 1100, English was the dominant language. Suddenly, after 1066, the time when William Shakespeare was born. Okay,
Yes,
Shakespeare was born in 1564 and he died in 1616, right?
Yes, sir.
The Elizabethan time.
Okay, yeah, exactly. So good, you know it. Then William Caxton, a man, he invented printing machine,
Yes, sir.
printer, and that time Renaissance took place,
The
and
great change.
people felt the need to print books when printing press was invented. They thought that we need to print more books instead of writing in using hands and ink. Let us now print as we have a printer. And the location of the printer was in, luckily, the location of the printer was in London. London, and then they, when they wanted to print the books, they thought that which English version should we keep? Should we keep English of Northern or Southern? Then they decided that it should be the Southern English, London dialect we are going to use in the books. When the London dialect was used in the books to write different things, documents, then this has got a written and fast spread. It was spreading fast to the in the hands of people. That was the time London dialect became the standard dialect as the dialect of English language, which is still in continuation. And even today, whatever standard English we read from the books coming from England, that is written in London dialect. Understand?
That London dialect became standard, and
Yeah.
we are learning that London dialect.
We are when you read books in that, we are learning that dialect, written dialect. The English written today's, whatever you got the written English, mostly dominated still today by London dialect. But okay, let me tell you now, with the passage of time, American English got a status, English from New Zealand got a status, English from Canada got a status, Australian English got a status. But think one thing, Australia, people who were sent in Australia, did I share the story of the nation? No. No, did I share you that story?
No,
Today?
sir.
Also.
Have I told you the criminals?
No, sir.
Okay.
No, sir.
The case is people who were criminals in England, they were given two options. Either you die or we'll send you to the land in an island which was named as Australia. So they sent me to Australia instead of killing me. Okay. So the criminals of England who used, there's the Thames River.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
থেমস নদীর আশেপাশে যে অপরাধীরা যে ভাষায় কথা, ওই অপরাধীরা যারা অপরাধ করতো, mainly those people are sent to Australia. Okay, so even today the accent or the dialect of the people who are living in the near the Thames River, and the dialect and the accent used in Australian English are very close. Their use of dialect dictions, because they are the same group of people. Among them, criminals are sent and they built Australia, They went there. They have beaten the Aboriginals in Australia, because before the white criminals went there, Aboriginals used to live in Australia. Understand? So
Yes,
whenever
sir.
you see an Australian, don't say, "Oh, civilized." No, reef is bird.
Okay, so then
They
the
are thieves, sir.
Australians are originated from that criminals.
Exactly, that criminals. They
Oh
become
my God.
master over there, and they main owners of the land. And the Aboriginals are the black
Just,
people.
Okay,
oh, just like the Red Indians in America,
Ex-
sir.
America, yes.
Exactly. The way Red Indians are beaten by them. Have you seen the
Sir.
movement in America? By the black people, they have
Yes,
they
sir.
have
Black
smashed
people
the
are.
they have smashed the statue of Christopher Columbus.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
This guy
These
has
are
this guy has invaded
symbol of the
America.
colonize.
Yeah,
This is the symbol of colonizer.
I tell
They are
you,
throwing off the
my
statues.
dear students, the story of America and Australia, England is not as civilized as we know. It is brutal. Their hands are blooded.
Someone changed the history,
Their
sir.
hands are blooded with the blood of Indian subcontinental people. Their hands are blooded with the black people. Understand? So that is what happening. And
Yes,
let me
sir.
tell you one thing. Whenever the white masters, let's say Australia, America, England, they are all friends underneath. Whatever division they show, that's for the showing only. All the white people are friends together, remember. Because they dominated,
No matter what they do in front of
they
us.
dominated, they killed.
Sir, isn't this island like Australia, America? They are used as prison. They
But
sent the criminals to
America
the.
was not used as prison.
But Australia, sir.
Australia was just,
Yes.
the whole island was a prison, okay? The whole island was a
Yes, sir.
prison. Understand? They went there, they then made all the blacks as slave. Just Google and you will find hundreds of thousands of photos.
স্যার এত বড় মহাদেশ পুরোটাই স্যার ছিল প্রিজন
Kind of prison, you can say in a different sense. It was a prison as
Britain
the
sent the most vicious criminals there.
exactly.
Okay.
Usually not the criminals like who used to steal things. No, the murderers. Okay.
Okay.
Because they need to
Harmful
control the island for them. So
Yeah.
they couldn't dirty their hands. So they're criminals to do the job for them.
Exactly. Okay. So this is the time of modern English. So now you can see how English become a language in Australia, and even America was a colony to England. You know,
Yes, sir.
America was a colony to England, and America got freedom from England.
Yes, sir.
So who is the main master? England.
England.
And remember one thing: Buckingham Palace is a reason of tears and bloodshed in the entire world. Buckingham Palace. The palace where Queen Elizabeth and everyone lives.
Yes.
The legacy
So remember,
of the kings and queens.
if you read the real history, you will start hating people. Don't hate, please. I think they are
History
not.
is cruel, sir.
No
History is
hate,
cruel.
no hatred, no hatred, no hatred. Okay, no hatred.
What happened?
Somebody
happened,
killed
sir.
you.
That is-
Somebody killed you. Don't kill them for revenge. If this continues, peace will never come. At one point, somebody has to say, "Okay, I have forgiven." Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Recently, let me tell you, some of the Nigerian statues were being called for auction in England, maybe, or somewhere. Then from Nigeria, they have raised their voice. They said that you cannot sell these things. These are stolen from our land. Give us this back. So this is the story. And they don't feel shy and shame, you know?
So one thing you have to
Yes.
agree, sir, that the British were mastermind playing in.
Exactly. But they have given the world regarding
Yes, sir.
science and everything. Somehow they have given to the world as well.
We
have to
you see, sir,
confess.
the conflict between India and Pakistan, the partisan, they played just
Cliff.
one, just one. They raise one conflict between the Muslim and the Hindus, and they're still fighting in this time as well.
Exactly, yes, because they know that people will be busy with this land,
Yes, sir.
and they'll keep on fighting.
They parted
Exactly.
these two people in the society, and they
But
still they are killing them.
didn't time our rulers also had problems. Our rulers also wanted to divide based on religion, not based on language. Okay, let's move
Yes,
on. Modern English. Hizbullah, can you read modern English?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, please read.
Modern English. Late modern English, 18th century to present. The main difference between early modern English and late modern English is vocabulary. Late modern English has many more words arising from two principal factors. Firstly, the Industrial Revolution and technology created a need for new words. Secondly, British Empire at its highest covered 1/4 to the Earth's surface, and the English language adapted foreign words for many countries.
Let's say they have governed in Africa, right? In Africa, let's say they have governed and colonized Indian subcontinent, right?
Yes, sir.
So they have forced they somehow helped us learn English or forced us to learn English, and they have also taken some words to make the learning easy. This is how in modern English era, English has taken lots of vocabulary. Okay, and because of technological revolution, it also took place. Okay, political imperialism, or think of capitalism and the growth of business, growth of education, exchange of students from this country to this country, and sharing of brains from one country to another country. I mean, brain sharing. Okay, this took place. I think as a teacher, we should, or as a student, we should study the unbiased part of the history, right? Not the biased part. We should also recognize that the way British people has civilized, or in a sense, they say that they civilized, but the natives say that no, they have not civilized, but they have distorted the history.
Yes, sir.
Okay, have a look at it. Everyone. Can somebody read it loudly? From the girls, from the girls. Munira has already read. I want somebody else to read.
Sir. Sir.
Yep.
Sir, did the Roman invade Britain before the German?
Yes.
Oh. That is done by August Caesar, Julius Caesar.
British, listen, British civilization is latest one, okay? Before their civilization, there was Roman civilization, Greek civilization.
The first invasion of Britain, isn't it, sir?
Yeah, but before Romans, there were some others who invaded. Let me tell you one thing. Look at the year 1150, okay?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
This is the period when Genghis Khan was born in Mongolia.
Okay.
In this time, Normans from French, they invaded and they started governing England, okay?
Okay.
1066, then he continued until 1400, right? But during 1080 or 1050, Genghis Khan was born in Mongolia. So one way of invasion was going on in the European part in Britain by French people. Another invasion took place during this Middle English time by Genghis Khan in this area in China and this other part of the country, right?
Yes, sir.
So that was the period, that was the time people were mad for blood, bloodshed, murder, conquering lands, and that was the time in Turkey. Don't forget about Turkey. Do you watch Sultan Suleiman?
Yes, sir.
That was the time in Turkey. Turkey started governing another part, an invasion over the Christian countries. Understand?
Yes,
Sultan
sir.
Mehmed. So, so this is how in every part of the world things are happening. And even at that time, do you know, America was not even invented. The husband of Melania or father of Ivanka was not invented.
Oh my God.
This land
So
was
many
not
things happened.
discovered. It was not discovered by Christopher Columbus, right?
Yes, sir.
So Christopher Columbus discovered America in 1492. Just 70 years before Shakespeare was born. Can you imagine?
Oh my God.
Such a latest country. Even before America was discovered, William Caxton has already invented printing press. And before America was discovered, England has started publication of books.
Oh my God.
So America is just a child, man. It's just a baby. Not the baby you mean traditional baby. No, not that baby.
So that baby got spoiled, sir.
This baby, এটা অঙ্কুরে বিনষ্ট হয়ে গেছে বেবিটা, এটা হচ্ছে একটা সমস্যা।
Nip in the bud.
That baby got
Nip in
spoiled.
the bud, exactly, nip in the bud. Okay. অনেক সময় মেয়েদেরকে বলে না, তাদের ফিয়ান্সে বলে বেবি বা মেয়েরাও বলে বেবি। সো ওই রকম বেবি না, কিন্তু আরো ছোট বেবি ছিল আমেরিকা আমাদের কাছে, ঠিক আছে এখনো।
Yes, sir.
I hope you don't mind, okay?
No, sir. No, sir.
So basically, before America was invented, Bangla was a dominant language in this part. Do you know?
Yes, sir.
Chorjapad was invented long before America was invented. Before England was established, Ved was established 3,000 years before England was invented. Do you know? So this part of the world carries the longest legacy history than England and America. But somehow people in that land took the upper hand because of science and technology.
Yes, sir.
And because of superstition and prejudice, we are lagging behind with our internal conflict. Can you imagine one thing? Let me tell you one thing. My grandfather was a farmer and he used to do rice business. He was a farmer, complete farmer. He used to buy all the rice from the farmers, then he used to store, then he used to sell in the different season. Okay. So farmer come businessman. He used to buy boats by which he used to trade his rice and everything. These farmers, your grandfather, my grandfather, our grandfather, they used to look at the sky and they used to say, okay, it is going to rain today, so let me prepare the land for harvesting. তারা আকাশের দিকে তাকায় বলে দিত যে হ্যাঁ বৃষ্টি হবে। এরা কি সায়েন্টিস্ট ছিল না?
Yes, sir.
These people knew how to cultivate. These
Yes,
people
sir.
these
When to
people knew
cultivate.
and when to cultivate. How to cultivate, when to cultivate. What
That
to
needs
cultivate.
some calculation that needs.
Advanced with the advancements of technology, but in our part of the world we did not pay attention to that. We just, oh, technology is something will take me to hell.
Sir,
প্রযুক্তি নাকি যোজকে নিয়ে যাবে। English is something, if you learn you will go to hell.
Influence, but
স্যার
this
আপনার কি স্যার রেকর্ডিংটা স্যার অফ নাকি স্যার?
My recording, I don't really understand.
স্যার এই
Yeah,
যে
I saw
ক্লাসে
mistakenly it's off.
ও স্যার স্যার এটা তো স্যার আমাদের লাগবে স্যার ক্লাসে।
Sorry, forgot.
Okay, sir.
Aha, 33 minutes loss. Okay, so I could not record first 33 minutes. I think let me cover the major issues in the when I'll revise the class, then I'll revise some of actually. I forgot to record the first
স্যার
part.
আমি আবার অনেক দূর থেকে ক্লাস করি তো স্যার, মানে অনেক কথা কেটে কেটে যায় স্যার। তো এর জন্য স্যার পরে আমি আবার রেকর্ডিং গুলো দেখে স্যার আবার পড়াগুলো কমপ্লিট করি স্যার।
Okay, no problem. It happened. It has happened only today in this part of the class. Don't worry. How did I do this mistake? I did not start recording. Very sad. Poor teacher.
No, sir.
So 1616, you see Shakespeare dies. Shakespeare's first folio is published in 1623. The first daily English language newspaper, the Daily Courant, is published in London in 1702. You can see that in 755, Samuel Johnson published his English dictionary. Okay, and in 1776, Thomas Jefferson writes the American Declaration of Independence. See, America was discovered in 1492, right? By whom?
Yes.
By the British people.
British people, of course.
So from England, America was a colony until 1782. And 1782, Britain abandoned its colonies in what is later to become the USA. 1782, man. 1782. But see, look at one thing. Look at one thing. Do you remember one year? 1757. (1757) is a remarkable, memorable year for the Indian subcontinental people.
Yes, sir.
So that means before America got freedom, we had freedom even before that, right?
Yes, sir. We are free Bengali. The Bengal was free.
Exactly. And then 1828, Webster published 28. Okay. So in 1755, Samuel Johnson published his English dictionary. 100 years after that, 1828, Webster published his American English Dictionary. And they have colonized the Red Indians, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
1922, the British Broadcasting Corporation is founded. The first one they established, 1922, BBC, right? And you can see the
Yes, sir.
power of BBC worldwide nowadays, right?
Yes, sir.
In 1928, the Oxford Dictionary is published. 1928, Oxford University, which has now invented the vaccine of corona virus. So you can see in the right side, local inhabitants who used to speak Celtish. Before Roman invasion, people used to speak Celtish. Then Old English, then Middle English, then early modern English, then late modern English. Then what? Today we'll talk. Can somebody read this part? From the girls, not the boys. Boys have already participated. I want the girls to participate now.
Sir, should I read?
Is it Munira?
Yes, sir.
You have already read. I want somebody else. If their internet connection is okay, let me give them chance. Then if they do
Sir,
not,
Yes, sir.
who is taking
Sir,
the
no
chance?
one,
Sir, I
no
would like to
one,
read.
no one is telling. That's why I said.
Okay, somebody.
Hello?
Okay, please. Right.
Yes, sir. The reason why a language becomes a global or an international language is not only deals with how many people speak it, but more deals deals with who those speakers are. A language has traditionally become its people in many aspects, especially economical, technological, political, and military power. From the time the US entered the First World War in 1917 right through to the present. The US has been one of the major military powers in the world. The economic and military has forced the traders and soldiers had to learn English to do their job properly. Because industry exploration and military demands needed and contributed to learning, so a lot of scientific discourse carried out primarily in English. The what do you think? Okay, sir.
A combination of
Hello.
industry, trade, war, and
The
learning.
combination of industry, trade, war, and learning. Uh, sir, actually, it looks very tiny. That's why I can read properly. All
Are
of
you
which
using your
use
smartphone?
English has.
Are you using your smartphone?
Hello.
Are you using a smartphone right
Yes,
now?
sir.
That's why it looks tiny.
Yes, sir.
স্যার জুম
Okay.
So
করলে তো দেখা যাচ্ছে
because of industry, trade, war, and
Okay.
learning,
The combination
all of which
trade,
use
war,
English has put English in this
yes.
position
All of which
as
use
the world's
has
preeminent
English is
language. So we can see that
language.
sometimes the industry exploration of and military demands, and because of US, English has spread more to the world in last 100 or 80 years. Okay.
Yeah.
And similarly, Crystal, as cited by McKay, has concluded the primary reason for the spread of English becoming an international language, that what did David Crystal say? Can somebody read? What did from the boys? In the 17th and 18th centuries,
Hello, sir. Can I
please.
start?
Yes.
In the 17th and 18th century, English was the language of the leading colonial nation, Britain. In the 18th and the 19th centuries, it was the language of the leader of the Industrial Revolution, also in Britain. In the late 19th century and the early 20th century, it was the language of the leading economic power, the USA. As a result, when new technologies brought new linguistic opportunities, English emerged as a first-ranked language in industries which affected all aspects of society: the press, the advertising, sorry, the press, advertising, broadcasting, motion pictures, sound recording, transport, and communication. Crystal,
Okay.
1917.
Okay. Grocery owners, the taxi drivers, the food sellers, fruit sellers, everyone can speak in English, more or less. But in our country, it is not possible. So still, it is foreign language overall in general. Okay. So we are in which circle?
স্যার এক্সপ্যান্ডিং
Expanding circle, right? Expanding circle. Let's say the Republic of Chad. There is a country called Chad. Do you know?
Yes, sir.
Luckily, I have a friend from Republic of Chad, one of my best friends from international community. In his country, English is a foreign language. French is a second language. What? French. Because that country is still an indirectly, that country is still a colony of France. Okay. We know that Britain and England is controlling some part of the world, but we don't know what are the countries controlled by France. France still controls some countries.
Yes,
Be
sir.
informed. Okay. And there
There
is
was one time, sir, France was powerful than Britain. However, the power shifted
Exactly. So let me tell you another truth, that is, let us not focus more on England nowadays, right? Let us not
Yes.
focus more on America nowadays. Okay? Let us now shed light on China. China, okay? China is going to colonize the entire world one day. The day is coming. They have already colonized nearly 50 countries.
Yes, sir. Through their products.
And British people nowadays say, you people don't need to study about us nowadays. Look at China. China is going to colonize you once again. And it has already colonized in a different way.
Yes, sir.
Different countries it is colonized. Okay, not Bangladesh. I will not talk anything about Bangladesh. Nothing about Bangladesh is government. Okay,
Yes, sir.
we'll talk about
Okay, sir.
Uganda. We better we talk about Uganda.
Yes, sir.
Okay, and I trust my students more than anyone else.
Sir, we also trust you.
Okay, so the circles, do you remember circles? Inner circle is what?
The native speaker,
Native speakers, yes.
Outer circle?
the second language speaker.
English as a second language, okay.
Yes, sir.
Second, yes.
English as a second language, ESL, English as second language. And expanding circle?
The English is a foreign
Foreign language.
English as foreign language, EFL.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so first one is NS, native speakers. Outer circle is ESL, English as second language. Expanding circle is EFL, English as.
Foreign language.
So I think you will never forget it.
So, sir, one question. Officially, Bangladesh has no second language or foreign language. Officially, document.
No. Officially, no language, no second
Okay.
language. Let me tell you one
Second.
more thing, my dear people. Let me tell you one more thing. Do you know the number of people who can write English? There are the number of more people who can write Arabic in Bangladesh.
Yes, sir, because Arabic is taught through our childhood when we
Ex-
just
Exactly.
in a
In Qawmi madrasas, there are thousands and millions of students, right?
yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Everyone, almost all of them can speak Arabic.
Yes,
They
sir.
can also speak Urdu. Okay. So let us have a look. We need research to see why Arabic is still lagging behind. Example of English varieties in Singapore. Look at it. Example of English varieties in Singapore. Singapore is such a small country, nearly the size, a little bigger than Mirpur. Let's say Dhaka, the size of Dhaka. Okay. So standard English, you can see, used for wider communication and official purposes in Singapore. Standard English is used for wider communication and official purposes.
Purposes.
And another one is standard Singapore English. Standard Singapore English.
Singapore English.
Exactly. That is called Sing-E. Sing-E. Used for primary education and local news. Used for primary education and local news.
Local news.
Here is another thing. Singapore language and
Singlish.
English combined together. That
Singlish.
is called Singlish. You know Banglish, English,
Yes, sir.
English.
Yes, sir.
Now is Singlish.
Singlish.
শুনেই মনে হচ্ছে চিংড়ি মাছ। So
Prawn item.
Singlish, yeah, prawn. Singlish used with family and friends. She can sabo by them. She was sabotaged by them. See? She can sabo by them. Singlish. She was sabotaged by them. Singlish is she can sabo by them. It is Singlish. Singapore and English together.
Yes, sir.
So Singapore is a land where Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose formed a military to free India from the clutches of the British rulers. Do you know this?
No, sir.
Singapore is a land where many Chinese live. Singapore is a land Chinese people live. Singapore is a land where Malaysians live. Singapore is a land where Indian settlers live. So before the British people left the Malaysian peninsula, like Singapore, Brunei, and Malaysia, they called the rulers of the states. They told them that you form a peninsula, meaning to say Singapore, Malaysia, and Brunei come together. Then we will give you independence back in 1960s. Okay, 1 decade before our independence. So they have formed Peninsula Singapore. They sat in a meeting, called on a meeting, and then they sat together and decided Singapore, Brunei, and Malaysia. Are you feel bored? Feeling
No,
bored?
sir.
No, sir.
No, sir.
কে আছে একটু চেহারাটা দেখে নেই তো। Wow,
স্যার সবাই আছে 18 স্টুডেন্টস স্যার।
such a good batch. I can see Munira, Mohiuddin, Salma, Saqib, Saima Jahan Dola, Saifat Asnim, Sadia Jannat, Panna, Borua Nishita, Ontor, Hizbullah Muhammad, Ishtiaq Jamil, Jamal Farzana Jamal, Dola Dilruba Akhtar Ontora, Saim Abu Shah Muhammad, Hassan Muhammad. Okay. So what happened to them was like Singapore then finally did not keep the commitment. That Brunei left Malaysia. Brunei told that we will not stay with them. Okay, we will form a new country. So Brunei was separated, and Brunei is definitely a rich country, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and Brunei has one of the greatest universities, Darussalam. Okay, and Singapore wanted to stay with Malaysia, but the Malaysian rulers said Singapore that no, we don't need you. You go out. Maybe this way Malaysians talk actually. Oh, you go out. I don't need you. And now you see Singapore, 3 Malaysian ringgit is less than 1 Sing dollar. This is how Singapore is built now. Okay, what role model in the world?
Yes, sir.
So you can see their way of using English. Next one is I'm feeling little better now. That's why I can give my voice. আসলে হয় কি শরীর ভালো না থাকলে বুঝছেন ক্লাস পড়াশোনার কিছুই ভালো লাগে না, খুব কষ্ট হয়।
স্যার আপনি আমাদের ক্লাসটা পড়ে নিতেন, বুধবারে তো আমরা অফ ছিলাম, বা নেক্সট ডে তে আপনি যেদিন সুস্থ ফিল করতেন স্যার।
Actually because of online classes, if I miss class that will be a big problem for to arrange a makeup class because all of you are busy. But no problem, I'll arrange makeup class during
it will be a pressure for you.
I want to arrange at least I want to arrange at least one makeup class during Eid vacation.
স্যার আপনি কি স্যার আমাদের সবার শেষে ক্লাস নেন, মানে সব ক্লাস নেওয়ার শেষে?
On this day I have 4 classes, 6 hours continuously.
তাহলে তো স্বাভাবিক।
I had 2 more classes before your class, so I hope
স্যার ওয়েডনেসডে তে কি আমাদের ক্লাস শিফট করা যায় না? আমরা কিন্তু ওয়েডনেসডে তে ফ্রি আছি স্যার, তাহলে আপনার একটু রিল্যাক্স হতো যদি আপনার ওই দিন অন্য কোনো ক্লাস একটু কম থাকে শিডিউলে।
Wednesday, right?
Yes sir, ওই দিন তো আমাদের কোনো ক্লাস নাই।
But the case is I have to show them that I follow the routine. That is a big problem.
জি স্যার, আমাদের স্যার কোনো ক্লাস নেই স্যার।
জি স্যার, আপনাদের ব্যাপার আপনার সুবিধার জন্য বলছি স্যার, আমাদের কোনো প্রবলেম না, আমাদের ওই দিন একদম ফ্রি।
I will talk to my chair. I think she's so nice. I need to know the rule here. You know, I'm new here, not less than 1 year. So let me know from the department, then I'll tell you.
জি স্যার, একটু যদি রিল্যাক্সে ক্লাস নিতে পারেন আমাদের জন্য ভালো।
Okay, this is the last, maybe most probably this is the last scheduled class before Eid, right?
আরেকটা পাওয়ার কথা স্যার।
Which one?
28 তারিখে তো স্যার ক্লাস, 28 তারিখ পর্যন্ত খোলা না? 28 তারিখে তো পাবো মনে হয়। হ্যাঁ।
Wow, okay, no problem.
Sir, 30 July is the official date of closing the university.
Oh, I see. So I have 1 more week, right?
Yes, sir. And we
Yes,
have
sir.
1 more class.
Okay, that's great. Then there will be 10 classes before Eid vacation.
Yes, sir.
And during Eid vacation, when I'll be back in my home, back to my home, can I arrange a makeup class?
Of course, sir. We don't have any problem, sir.
We have
Okay,
no
I
Sir,
will
but
problem.
knock you.
আপনার স্যার প্রেসার পড়বে না? Won't it be a pressure for
No,
you?
it's okay now. Eid vacation এ করবো, সমস্যা নেই। Okay,
আমাদের আছে কি করোনার ভিতরে আপনি ক্লাস নিলে
Standard
আমরা
English
করতে পারবো সবাই।
এইবার তো ঈদ সেরকম করে হবে না, একটা ক্লাস করাই যাবে, তাই না?
জি স্যার।
Standard English, Longman Dictionary of Applied Linguistics defines Standard English as the variety of a language which has the highest status in a community or nation, and which is usually based on the speech and writing of educated speakers of the language. Let me tell you one truth. Sometimes people in general have a tendency to say, Antor, the way you talk is incorrect because your pronunciation is not so good. Or Hizbullah, the way you talk, it doesn't sound good. Okay, I understand what you say, but your English is not good. Or sometimes, let's say somebody else, Maisha, the way you talk, you don't talk well. Okay, I understand what you say. Your message is clear, but your way of talking, your accent is not good. You should talk like Americans. You should talk like the British people. এই ধরনের কোনো কিছু চলবে না, because English has become Englishes. English has become Englishes. I speak my English. Hizbullah speaks Hizbullah's English. Okay? Bangladeshis speak Bangladesh English. Indians speak Indian English. But Kerala people speak Kerala English. Tamil Nadu people speak Tamil Nadu English. People in Bihar speak Bihar's English, right?
Yes, sir.
I am nobody to judge their English. If as long as it is enough to understand the language, what do they mean? Got my point?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So, English has become Englishes. America has more than 20 dominant dialects. How many dialects do we? আমরা সবাই সবার ভাষা বুঝি, আমরা আমাদের নিশিথার যদি তার এলাকার ভাষায় কথা বলে এটা আসলে খুব বেশি কেউ বুঝবে না। সো নিশিতার ল্যাঙ্গুয়েজটা হলো চিটাগং এর ল্যাঙ্গুয়েজ, সেটা চিটাগং এর মানুষ বুঝে। আর শুদ্ধ বাংলায় বললে সবাই বুঝবে, তার মানে এটার অ্যাকসেপ্টেবিলিটি আঞ্চলিক যেটা ডায়ালেক্ট যেটা এটার চাইতে একটু বেশি, এটুকুই। বাট এখানে সুপেরিয়রিটির কিছু নেই। যেটা শুদ্ধ বাংলা সেটাও একটা শুদ্ধ ডায়ালেক্ট, স্ট্যান্ডার্ড ডায়ালেক্ট। অল দ্য ল্যাঙ্গুয়েজেস আর ডায়ালেক্ট, ওকে? কারণ কোনটা থেকে শুরু হয় ওটা আমরা জানি না। সো অল দ্য ল্যাঙ্গুয়েজেস আর ডায়ালেক্ট, and language is constantly changing. So you can see standard English described in dictionaries and grammars, dictionaries and grammar, taught in schools and taught to non-native speakers, then news media and in the literature. English with the one standard, that one is standard means socially accepted one, is used in news media, school and colleges, medium of education. That one is recorded in the dictionary. Recorded in the dictionary and in the news media and literature. Think of Bangla. But nowadays you can see that there is a Facebook channel in Chittagonian language, C+ TV. Nishita Bodua.
Hello, sir.
In the last class, you said that Nasiva tui nobuzo. Mone koro?
Ji, sir.
Okay, Azia toar moner bab kita. Nishita, could you please share something in Chittagonian?
স্যার সরি, আমার নেট কানেকশন ডিস্টার্ব করছে তো স্যার, আপনার কথা আমি বুঝতে পারিনি অ্যাকচুয়ালি।
Now you try to speak something in Chittagonian, then I'll give an example. What is your
আজকে কিছুটা বুঝছি কিন্তু নেট কানেকশন ডিস্টার্ব করত তো এতলা মাঝে মাঝে স্যার হতা কিছু বুঝে কিছু না বুঝে
Okay, thank you. Okay, how many of you understood this language?
একটু বুঝছি স্যার, ওই যে নেট কানেকশন
স্যার
বলতে
অনেকটাই
যে
বুঝছি না আমি পুরোটাই বুঝছি স্যার কারণ অনেকটা মিল লাগলো স্যার নোয়াখালী ভাষার সাথে
Okay, she said that Azia. Okay,
আজকে নেট কানেকশনের প্রবলেম তাই
আজকে সে ক্লাস বুঝতেছে ভালোভাবে, তবে নেট কানেকশনের সমস্যা করতেছে। এখন বিষয়টা হলো in this language there is a channel in Facebook. They telecast news and their view is much better than many national TV channels, even private TV channels. So if you write C+, you will see. So you see how dialect becomes dominant in a specific area or to a specific community. Okay. Next, implications of English as an international language to the English language teaching in Indonesia. Some examples are given. Okay. Then TOEFL in 4 major skills. Teaching English as a foreign language. So focus is given on listening, reading, speaking, writing. You know all these things. Language components in TOEFL, vocabulary, pronunciation, grammar. Somehow they want to teach pronunciation. The game is, it's a global language. So if you want to learn English, their statement is English should be spoken like the English people. Ar ami boli ki jano, if your English is understandable, comprehensible, that's enough.
Yes, sir.
Okay, somebody please read.
স্যার আপনি
Then Alaikum salam. How are you? Alhamdulillah. Dilbar, read.
Communication. As a global community, we really need a language which can be used as a means of global communications. In this case, English has becomes an international or a global language. So every people in this world should be able to communicate in English in order to participate in global affairs. Then, sir, in teaching English as an international language, there are many theories and methodologies and techniques that can be applied. However, as a teachers, we should realize that there is no one best method for all context. So it needs a teacher's sense of plausibility
Yeah.
to select the appropriate methods, techniques, and materials that reflect local culture and meet student needs to develop language proficiency.
So let me tell you, they said that English language should be taught based on the context approach, okay? Based on the learner's interest. The way think of my class. I give examples from you people, right?
Yes, sir.
I invite you to talk. I mention your names. Somehow I'm trying to develop connectivity with you people, right?
Yes, sir.
If it was a face-to-face class, then you could have seen my class engagement system much better than this one. I don't know what is your feedback about the other classes. Either you were connected like this rigorously or somehow less connected.
No, sir, we are connected with our other class also because other lecturers are Tofazzal sir and Alia Miss.
That's great. So
Both of them
if
are
you are
awesome.
connected this way, then there is a higher possibility of interactive classes. So let me share something else now. I'm closing this part. I have one more PowerPoint slide today.
স্যার এই স্লাইডটা যেটা শুরুতে শেয়ার করছিলেন, এটা স্যার একটু ম্যাটেরিয়াল হিসেবে দিয়ে দেওয়া যায় না? কারণ ওই 30 মিনিট তো রেকর্ড হয় নাই শুরুতে।
Don't I share the slides with you? I share all the slides with you people. I do share all. These are prepared for you people. Okay. Interesting. This part is more interesting. What you can see here, the future of English as a global language, right? The future. Till now, we talked about the current status. What would be the future? Let us relate. To present an account of the status of English language in the world and discuss possible future states of the language. Okay? Role of English language teaching professionals in the preservation of the English language as an important one in the context of globalization. Let me tell you something frankly. Sometimes students are confused which stream to choose. Should I do my major in literature or ELT? What do you think? Which one is more important nowadays?
ELT, sir.
Applied linguistics and ELT, whatever you say, right?
Yes, sir.
Exactly, because to work in NGOs, to work as a teacher, everywhere you need to be ELT students. Okay.
As
ELT
for the
expert.
literature, sir, it stopped.
No.
Yes, there is a.
But literature is in decline.
মানে শেষ হতে চলেছে স্যার এইরকম অবস্থা
There is a decline. The lamp is going to be because there are reasons actually. Literature teaches aesthetics and ELT teaches direct practical things, methodology, how you will earn money, how you are going to get a job, how you are going to conduct a research. And definitely if you work research under people like us, so you will understand that you know a lot of things by this time.
Yes, sir. Day-to-day life issues.
Exactly, and how you going to teach. But one sad truth, people consider that jara applied linguistics pore okay tara bodhe grammar ta amar shikhe ar ki.
স্যার প্রত্যেকবার বলে যে এই ভোকাবুলারি এই বাংলা বলো ইংলিশে পড়তেছি মানে এই সেন্টেন্স পড়ছি
I learned linguistic imperialism, anti-imperialistic attitude. I learned teaching methodology, I learned teaching technique, I learned social linguistics, I learned how to do research, how to collect data. Okay, I learned the history of language. Tell them these things. I don't learn grammar and vocabulary studying ELT. Okay, tell them this issue. People have misconceptions. Somehow we have to remove that, eradicate that. Okay.
Yes, sir. People still think that we read romantic novels in romantic periods.
Okay, from this slide we will not read all.
Yes, that's the truth.
Listen, by nature human beings are romantic because our parents are romantic. That's why we are here, right?
Yes, sir.
What is a global language? Please, somebody please read it. What is a global language?
Global language, a language as its a genuinely global status when it develops a special role that is recognized in every country.
Crystal, right? Okay.
Yes,
we will
sir.
not read everything. We will read something else. Already gone. Okay, this one, can you read this one in short? Just go through.
And Germany defeated the in the World War II nations, now UN. Socio-cultural factors, independence of former British world economic
emergence, no emergency,
emergence of new world economic China, new Englishes.
Yes, new Englishes, exactly. Okay, then
emancipation of national languages in countries around the world. Emancipation মানে কি স্যার?
freedom, liberation. Okay, thank you. Let me now ask somebody else to read this slide. We have discussed most of the things. Can I now ask Antara Akhtar?
Yes, sir.
Antara, let me see how do you read. Just read. I'll explain if needed. English in the future.
Okay, sir.
Fair predictions. What would be
English
English in future?
fair predictions. Regional lingua francas are used in regional economic blocks instead of English. Decline of
So
English
this is,
importance, technology
please.
transfer.
পড়তে লাগলে পড়তেই থাকে মানে আমি যখন পড়ি থামবা তো regional lingua francas are used in regional economic blocks instead of English. Let's say China is using Chinese wherever with they are doing business instead of English. Somehow the prediction is that the area of English is becoming narrow day by day regarding business language in some cases, right? But still it is dominant. Okay, the decline of English importance in technology transfer. In some cases it is declining. Okay, then Antara.
Antagonism towards in English language.
Where did you
English
find
does
it?
not fit the
Listen,
desires for
listen,
expression of identity of speakers of
Antara, you are reading wrong, please. You have read antagonism towards something. You have read wrong here.
towards
Towards
the English language.
Yeah, did you read that?
Yes, sir.
Previously before may not be. Antagonism towards the English language. See, antagonism. What is antagonism? Enmity, right? Shatruta.
Enmity, right?
Shatruta.
Yes.
So China is
Yes.
saying that no, somehow, but today nowadays China is learning English just to compete in the world equally using Chinese and English together. Okay,